If some girl on Instagram asks to room with you, say no. Hello and welcome to Messy March. Today I'm giving you my roommate from hell story. Okay, so boom, it's summertime. I get added to this black girls group chat and my residence group chat. I find out where I'm living. I'm really happy to be in Western. I'm going through the group chat and I see this girl and she's like, yeah, I'm going to Delhi too, da 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 da. And she was saying how she was looking for a roommate. And I was like, oh, bet, I'm also looking for a roommate. And she was like, would you want to be roommates? Like, do you think we're compatible? I'm like, yeah, let's talk it out. And we talked it out. We were totally compatible. She was really sweet. I was like, okay, period. And she was kind of saying how she really wanted a single room and how she was kind of nervous to have a roommate. But I was like, it's okay, don't worry, we're gonna make it fun, whatever. We were even collaborating, who's gonna bring the fridge, who's gonna bring the vacuum, XYZ. So now it's the night before and I call her and I'm asking how she is. She's like, yeah, no, I'm still kind of nervous, but I'm glad to meet you, whatever. So we get there on move-in day, her mom's there, we're all talking. And then someone in the room makes a comment that they were happy that I'm not trans because they didn't want a room with someone trans. And I was like, oh, okay. But the girl was sweet and we were getting along, we were going out that week, things were good. And then I got SA'd, so things were not so good. And I kind of had to leave for a bit. I was kind of going back and forth from one other place and whatever while I was dealing with cops and everything else. And this girl was acting up and down I'm here to support you, everything's fine, whatever. But I was also being a good roommate too. I was like, listen, I know I'm dealing with a lot. I'm not going to try to put it on you. You could take my snacks in the snack cart when I'm home. You could have your friends over. They could chill in my bed. I don't fucking care. Overly nice to this girl. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. And then I ended up going out with her and some other friends the first time since the whole incident and everything. So obviously I'm already very sensitive. And what did this girl do? Left me on the side of the road with her friends. And I called her and I was like, hi, what? And she was like, no, I didn't even mean to leave you. I didn't even know. Da, 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 da. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Kind of fake, but I allowed it. And then I was at the hospital for one of my appointments, kind of after the SA, they do checkups and stuff. And I come home and all the posters on her side of the wall are gone. So I was like, oh, are you redecorating? Are you moving? What's going on? And then she says, yeah, I'm moving. I was going to sit you down. What? So I sit down and I was like, what's up? She's like, yeah, this roommate thing wasn't really working for me anymore. You just have a lot of baggage for someone to deal with. It's a law and your situation's a law. And I don't know, you've made some comments. And I was like, okay, what comments did I make? Mind you, this girl didn't tell anyone. The process when you have a roommate and you're arguing with them is to go through the dawn and everything, at least talk to this person. I had no idea about any of this. I'm being fucking blindsided. She's like, yeah, we were talking about a family dynamic once and you said that I would be the snitch cousin. And shit, I wasn't wrong. So I'm just sitting there teary-eyed. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go. And I walk my sad ass. I'm literally sobbing and I walk myself back to where I was before and I just spend the night there. Literally cried all night because how horrible is that? Imagine dealing with all that and then your roommate's doing that. Mind you, this girl was telling my mom, she's there to support me, swearing up and down to me, to other people, yeah, I know I was worried to have a roommate, but, you're really cool, and da-da-da-da. So, I don't understand where this is coming from. And then she moves out, and I come to the room, and mind you, she already took the fridge and everything, because, it was her fridge and stuff, because we cooperated everything, so I'm without a fridge now, but whatever. This girl took my food out of the fridge and put it on the floor. There was a desk, there was a chair, she put my alcohol in the chair, but my food was on the floor. Do you guys understand what it took out of me? I remember this girl had the nerve to text me, yeah, can't really be friends, but I wish you all the best in life. Bitch. I'm getting mad. So I kind of left it. I didn't really want to beef with her. I kind of left it. I would see her around and it would be really awkward. And then she blocked me on everything and I'm like, hey, that's extra. Obviously her blocking me was doing way too much because I didn't even know there was an issue and now you're doing all this. And then the Dawn came to talk to me because she was like, hey, I know your roommate moved out. What's up? And I was like, yeah, I don't know what happened either. She was like, yeah, I know, she didn't really talk to you. We wanted to arrange a meeting and then someone went over our heads and got you out immediately. And I was like, did she give a reason? She was like, yeah, she said you were coming in at the middle of the night and slamming doors and getting mad and screaming, you seemed unstable. And I was like, I was quite literally never there. I was literally never there. I think I've spent 15 or 10 times, maybe max, sleeping in that building. So how am I coming in and slamming doors? That makes sense. Mind you, these guys were saying they wanted a private room from time, so I think you guys can clock what's going on here. But yeah, the Dawn was like, I'm really sorry she did that, that was horrible, whatever, which it was. So tell me why this girl had the nerve to go on my floor and be like, yeah, guys, I don't know, I just had a problem with her, it was crazy, let me know, I'm gonna give you guys a story time one day. Well, here's my story time. Feel free to share yours now. This is the last video of Messy March, but don't worry, I still have so many stories to tell, so follow for more.
Get ready with me while I talk about my boyfriend's crazy ex. Also, a lot of y'all been asking for a makeup tutorial, so I'm going to show y'all all the products I use along the way. So all of this started January of last year. And when the whole situation was happening, I found out kind of January, but all the details that happened technically happened in December. I'm not going to get too much into the details because this part isn't very important, and it was kind of a long time ago, but we didn't really get along that well once she found out that me and my current boyfriend were together, and there were just a lot of like different rumors going around about like them and like what they were and this and that. But come to find out that she was just lying about a lot of stuff, and like, you know, just the stereotypical crazy ex type of thing. You might be wondering like, oh, like how is this relevant if this happened a year ago? Well, let me get to that because it will definitely make sense. So the way I even found out about my boyfriend's ex is I had made a TikTok in my boyfriend's car, and somebody had sent her that video, and I guess she just recognized like the interior, and she had commented, "Backseat looks familiar." Now, when I read a comment like that, in my head I'm thinking, all right, because who tapped in the backseat of my man's car? Like, I'm already freaking out. I'm thinking, like, in mind, we weren't together at this point, like, dating, but we had been talking for 3 whole months, and we were taking each other pretty serious, so I cared a lot, and, like, that was somebody who I was trying to get to know, so it bothered me if he's, like, hooking up with some other girl or something. Oh, also, this is the powder base foundation that I use in this shade. So obviously once I got that comment on my page, I had asked my boyfriend like, hey, like what's going on? Like, what is this about? Who is this? Because whenever I had checked like underneath that comment, I had seen like another one of his exes under it, like, oh, if only she knew. And I was like, okay, because why I got FOMO right now and why I don't know what's going on, because this is crazy. Like, what just happened? So I asked my boyfriend, like, about these 2 girls in my comment section, and he is just like, oh my freaking God, no way. So he starts telling me how apparently this has been going on for a while, where she just constantly, like, hits up girls that he tries to get with, you know, and it's just been, like, this huge problem. And then I asked him, I'm like, okay, well, girls don't just do this for no reason, so, like, what's the tea? Like, what's going on? So then I find out that he was entertaining her for a little while, and they were texting. I'm pissed. Obviously, like, I'm fucking pissed. But that's besides the point. Like, we weren't dating. He didn't cheat on me. And I told him, I'm like, hey, like, you were honest with me. Like, and I had her sending me, like, these little fake screenshots. Like, some of them are real, but most of them were fake. And so I was kind of just like, I don't trust her at all, and I'm just going to go based on what he says. And so I was like, hey, like, if you're open and honest with me, like, we can move past this. Like, we're not dating. This isn't cheating. Like, I just need you to tell me what happened so I know how to handle it. I know what to think. I know how to respond. Because I don't want to look like the idiot, you know? So, yeah, I find out that they were talking, whatever. He immediately blocked her, like, told her, like, okay, like, this is done with, like, you need to stop doing this. And so I'm like, okay, like, I like a man that takes action. He has had her blocked ever since, like, never once unblocked this girl, never once reached out to this girl, and made me his girlfriend, like, on the spot. So I'm like, okay, like, this tells me that this guy is serious about me, and, you know, like, he just made a mistake, like, entertaining something that he shouldn't have. Now everything's going smooth, everything's going perfect, and we had no problems for a good long while. But then all of a sudden, here she comes back again with all these lies and like these fake screenshots. And like, I had tried the method where like you befriend the ex to get like all of like the information, like where you pretend to be their friend so that they like tell you stuff, because I didn't really know who to trust at this point. Like, I didn't really trust her as much because, like, she was over here lying to me. But, sorry, I forgot to show y'all what I use. But, yeah, like, she was over here lying to me. And so I didn't really think that I could trust her. But, like, at the same time, like, she's sending me screenshots. But during this time where we were quote-unquote friends, she would post on her story pictures of her and my boyfriend, like, all hugging up in the mirror. And I kid you not, guys, like, she would send me, like, sexual photos of them and think that shit was funny. And she would talk to me about their past. And I'm not an insecure person, so, like, I was just, like, kind of letting it happen. But, like, in the back of my head, I was just like, what the hell? Like, who does that? So yeah, I just from the jump knew she was kind of weird, but like I really wanted to get information out of her, and I really wanted to make sure I wasn't trusting the wrong person. And my breaking point with her was just the fact that she told me that she thought something was wrong with my boyfriend because she's like soul tied with him and she can feel when something's wrong with him or something. And I was just like, first of all, nothing's wrong because I'm with him and he would tell me. Second of all, don't tell me you have a soul tie with my boyfriend. Third of all, just shut up. Like, just shut up. Like, oh my, just shut up. So yeah, like, after I had seen, like, literal, like, she sent me, like, a picture of her little boobs with, like, a hickey under it. And she's like, oh yeah, this is from him. Like, don't mind. This is from 2 years ago. Like, they look small. Like, just ignore it. Okay, so why are you sending me one from, like, 2 years ago? And then she's like, oh, like, watch out. He gave me the worst UTIs. Like, girl, I ain't never had a UTI with my boyfriend. Sorry that you had issues, but don't put that onto me. And he's like, yeah, he like cheated on me. Whole time this girl cheated on him with his best friend, like sent literal nudes to his best friend, and it's like, yeah, he cheated on me, like don't trust him, like this and that. Girl, he did some fuck shit to you, but y'all weren't even together. So, and then she's like, yeah, and like he cheated on me with you. Girl, y'all weren't together. I don't care what he was telling you. Like if he was flirting with you, like that's y'all. Like figure that out between y'all. But y'all were not together. We were not together. Now we are, and y'all aren't. So leave it alone. And oh my god, like guys, on top of this, oh, here's my lip liner, by the way. Literally from Gold 7, like $5 lip liner. But on top of all that, guys, she doesn't even live here. And she moved like 2-3 years ago. Like, just let that sink in. Like, just let that sink in that a person that doesn't even live in the same state, hours and thousands of miles away, is harping on me and a dude that wants nothing to do with her. So yeah, like now we're at the point I don't like her, she don't like me, like we got each other unadded and blocked on everything, like we're just not the nicest to each other at this point. So whatever, she moves on, she gets a new boyfriend, whatever, but then they break up. And now she's back on my boyfriend. And I'm just like, oh, does this ever end? Like, does it ever end? It doesn't, apparently. Because after that, oh, and I forgot to mention, throughout our whole relationship, she would text my boyfriend on text now saying, like, oh, do you even love her? Like, just stupid stuff, like, why are you with her? Like talking about, like, how she misses him and stuff. And I'm just like, do you have a life? Is there not anybody, like, you got your whole ass state and ain't nobody there you can link with that's not my man? Oh my god, like, oh my god. And, like, the second interaction I had with her, like, after we had, like, blocked each other on everything and not talked, my boyfriend's grandma was going through a lot, like, wasn't doing too well. And she sends my boyfriend a text talking about, this is my family. I literally cried when I found out. Like, I love y'all so much. Like, and I'm just like, I'm gonna air everybody out right now. Like, this is not funny. So I texted her. I was not the nicest, I won't lie, but who is gonna be nice? And I was just like, you need to leave him alone. Like, this is not your relationship. Like, this is my boyfriend. We've been dating for, at this point, 10 months. And I was like, I can comfort him just fine. Like, he can confide in me. He doesn't need you. And right now, like, his family is my family is his family. We are dating. We are together. We are building our future, not y'all's. And what does she do in revenge? She comes back and makes fake screenshots that my boyfriend is cheating on me with her. And obviously they're debunked because the timing of it, I was literally at an escape room with my boyfriend where you can't have your phones or anything. But I'm just like, girl, do you have a life? Are you that obsessed that you can't, like, get on? So yeah, that is the moral of the story. And at the end of the day, my point of making this video is just I wanted to do a makeup tutorial and have a fun story to tell while doing it, because this happened very recently, the whole fake cheating thing. So yeah, bye.
I was sexually assaulted at Kimbo Bar in Lisbon last night by a bartender named Felipe Peixoto, and multiple other people told me that he has a reputation for doing this. So if this has happened to you, just know I'm going to the police and I'm pressing charges if you would like to do the same. But here's what happened. I was out with my friends last night and we went to Kimbo, which is like a staple in Lisbon. And it's a very small bar. It has a tiny room downstairs and there's a bunch of like half walls that sort of separate the space. I'm in the very back of the room, surrounded by the 2 walls in the corner and then 1 half wall on the side. So I'm surrounded by 3 walls and I am against that half wall that comes up to like my belly button-ish. And in this corner, there's a table. So like I'm as far back basically as you could go. I'm dancing, I'm hanging out, I'm against the wall. This bartender comes and he puts his hand like this on me and then says he needs to get by. I'm against a wall. There's nobody in front of me. There's like a half a meter space for him to go straight to the table to grab the empty beer bottles. I clock it, I'm pissed, but it happens so fast that by the time I react and want to say something, he's gone. But not like 30 minutes later, he comes back and he does the exact same thing. I'm standing in the exact same place. I haven't moved. He puts his hand in the exact same place to get by me. And at this point, I'm ready. And I turn around and I'm like, why the fuck are you grabbing my boob? And he keeps saying, oh, no, like, I just need to get by you. I'm just trying to do my job. I just needed to touch you because I needed to get by you. I'm like, that doesn't answer the question. Why are you grabbing my boob? Why are you touching me at all? There's a full space right here that you can grab the beer bottles that you need. I'm against a wall. You don't need to get by me. In fact, I'm in your way if you try to go by me. And he's arguing with me. And I keep saying like, why the fuck are you touching my boob? That was unnecessary. What the fuck? You've done it twice now. He's smirking. He's smirking, borderline laughing, and getting closer to me. And at this point, I'm telling him to get the fuck away from me. I'm cornered, right? Like I'm in the corner. I'm against a wall. I've got nowhere to go. There's a table next to me. I can't move anywhere. He's the one that has to leave. He's cornered me in the very back of the room. And I tell him to get away from me, and he won't. He's smirking. He's like, no, you're not respecting me. And I'm like, of course I'm not respecting you. You fucking grabbed my boob. Why would I respect you? And he's like, you need to respect me. I work here. I'm like, I don't respect you at all. Why would I respect you? Get the fuck away from me. Go do your job. You work here? Go do your job. Go do something else. Go bother somebody else. Why are you talking to me still? This goes on for probably 5 minutes to the point where I am screaming, get the fuck away from me. The entire room basically has stopped and is watching. Nobody's doing a thing. Even like the people that we had just met that were standing behind us, the Portuguese guys were like, oh, like stop it, like don't make a scene. But I keep screaming at this guy and I'm like, get the fuck away from me because I can't go anywhere. He's cornered me and he's leaning in and smirking. He knows what he's doing. And then he tells me, oh, you're not respecting me. Like I'm gonna kick you out. So I tell him, bet. Please do kick me out. I don't want to stay at a bar where it's okay for the bartenders to grab my boob. Do it. Kick me out. At which point he completely backs down because he knows that he's guilty and he has no reason to actually kick me out. Then finally, after legitimately 5 minutes of me screaming at this guy, the entire bar looking at us, the guy that was sitting behind me and saw all of this happen comes over and he's like, and he's a big guy. And he's like, hey, I saw exactly what happened. I saw you touch her inappropriately. She's absolutely correct. You were touching her inappropriately and she's asked you to walk away and you're not. You need to go. And the guy tries to argue with him. He's like, no, like I was just trying to get around her. I'm just doing my job. And the guy's like, no. You were not doing that. I saw you. I saw what you did. I saw where you touched her. That was inappropriate. She's right. She's asking you to leave. Why aren't you leaving? And of course, the guy listens to him and leaves. And I go upstairs. My friend's getting a drink this whole time. So she didn't know what was going on. I go upstairs. I find her and I'm telling her what happened. The bartender comes up to me again. He's taunting me. He comes over. He's like, I was just doing my job. And I was like, you touched my boob. Get the fuck away from me. Why are you talking to me? Why are you interacting with me? Like, I'm trying to tell my friend what happened. I'm not bothering him. And I'm like, hey, and he won't leave. Again, I'm telling him to leave. He won't leave. I'm like, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to call the cops and report you for sexual assault. And he laughs and says, yeah, go ahead, do it. Get my picture. In fact, here's my ID. Take a picture of it. That's how arrogant this guy is. That's how much this guy does this and gets away with it. I have a video of him smiling and waving at the camera. So I go outside, I'm waiting for the cops. It's like 40 minutes. They talk to me, they get my statement. They talk to the guy. Apparently they already knew him. So this is not the first time I think that he's had the cops called on him. And then the guy that stuck up for me, Tomas, I love him. I love you, Tomas. We're friends now. He tells the cops, yep, I saw this. I saw everything happen. He touched her inappropriately and she asked him to go away multiple times. He would not. He was harassing her, all this stuff. I love you, Tomas. I love you so much. And in Portugal, for sexual assault, after you make a report, you have to physically go to the police department the next day and tell them whether or not you want to press charges. So I will be doing that today. And this next part I'm going to share because I think it's important and speaks to the level of misogyny that's so deeply rooted in his arrogance. But I need you all to be not fucking assholes about it, okay? If I see a single anti-immigrant comment, I will be blocking you. But this guy has expired status. And he knows this, obviously. And when I threaten to call the cops, He said, do it. He said, great. You want to call the cops? Go for it. Get my picture. Take a picture of my ID so you can show the cops when you call them. That's how arrogant this man is, and that's how often this man does this and gets away with it. But the thing is, I have a very credible witness who is a man, who is a Portuguese man, and this guy is going to get charged. This guy is used to having more power than the people he harms, but that changes today. And to top it all off, I took an Uber home, and the Uber was asking a little too many questions and then lingered around on my street for a little too long, so I had to walk around the block. Great. To the police station yesterday to press charges against Felipe Peixoto, the bartender at Kimbo Bar in Lisbon that sexually assaulted me this weekend, and here's how it went. I brought one of my best friends with me, who is a guy and a native Portuguese speaker, which I thought would help, not only for translation, but to have a man there validating everything I'm saying. It wasn't off to a great start when we first got there, I will say. Like, there was a police officer guarding the door, and when he was asking us, like, what we were doing there, he clearly did not understand the process of reporting sexual assault. Like, he kept asking me if I had a report number or the officer's names or anything like that. And I was like, no, I specifically asked them, do I need to bring anything to press charges? And they said, no, tell them your name and they will look you up in the system. That's all you need. And so like this guy at the door didn't seem to know that. And then he was also confused why I was there. He's like, well, you made a report last night. You don't need to do anything else. It's like, yes, I do. If I'm pressing charges, I need to come here. How do I know this and you don't? He went in and talked to somebody and then came back, let us in. We waited for a while and then we went to like who I think is in charge. I'm not sure exactly his level, but he had a whole office to himself. And I was kind of nervous. You know, it's a guy and I'm trying to press charges about sexual assault. So, you know, so far, at least my interaction with that guy, with that police officer was very good. I expanded on my statement. I went into like, you know, more detail about exactly what happened. I drew a diagram of the room and like where I was and where the guy was and where the witness was. And like, he was like, so he didn't need to go around you. I was like, no, he didn't. And I can't presume like how this police officer actually felt or what he thought, but at least for me on my side, like I felt respected by him. He seemed to get it is what I'll say. And he printed off my statement. He translated it to English for me and gave it to me. And just the words that he used, like the way he wrote my statement, I felt as though he had really put a lot of care into choosing words that gave me a lot of dignity and gave me a lot of bodily autonomy, honestly. I read the statement and I was touched, honestly, after reading it. So, and also I'll say like the police officer was pretty good at addressing both me and my friend who was translating without acting like I was invisible. Which if you've ever had somebody translate for you in like some sort of professional setting, I think you'll understand when I say like people forget you're there when there's a translator. And it's like a huge issue. And like I would say, and understandably it's new and jarring for some people, so it takes some time to get used to, but this police officer was like, I would say pretty good at not losing any like respect for like me and my voice. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. It took a while, like I would say probably a couple hours, but overall it was a decent experience. I am as surprised as you that I'm saying this. And I don't know, could this all have been a facade by the police to sort of give this impression? Maybe. I have no idea, but it felt genuine on my end, I will say. If it was a facade, it was a good one. We'll see what happens. He is being charged, and the next step is the court will reach out to me for a day to like physically go and speak to them and provide my witness list so they can speak to all the witnesses as well, which I do have many. The situation is really only possible because I have so many Portuguese male witnesses. One of them being like a big macho guy that intervened and saw everything happen, and another being a criminal attorney himself. These are extremely credible witnesses that I have speaking for me, and without them, I don't know if I would be taken as seriously, to be honest. And so now I wait to hear from the court. But yeah, this man has been charged, and he will most likely be found guilty, I think. And the police also told me that after he is found guilty, I'm then able to sue him in civil court.
Story time of how I found out my ex was cheating on me with a 14-year-old. This is a lot, so definitely get ready. I also want to say that my ex was 18 whenever she did this. So it was either late December or like very early January. It was definitely around New Year's. My ex is over. We're having what I thought was a good time. Whenever she gets mad at me and is like, give me your phone, I want to go through it. And I was like, okay, no problem. So I give her my phone. And there's this guy who was saving my pictures in chat, but I wasn't like entertaining it and I wasn't doing anything about it. He was just saving them and I wasn't like doing anything. I wasn't even texting him or nothing. Mind you, that was the only thing that she found. Like, I wasn't cheating on her. I wasn't doing anything like that would be wrong in our relationship because I genuinely liked her. Yeah, that was the only thing in my phone. So she gets mad at me because I didn't unadd him whenever he was doing that, and I just like let him do it because like I don't know, I just didn't think it was that big of a deal, you know. She gets mad at me, yells at me, whatever, it's fine. We end up being okay because I just unadded him. Then it's New Year's and she's over, we're having a good time. I'm on her phone for a little bit, like making a TikTok, and I see that a girl saved her snapping chat. Like, what? Well, normally I wouldn't have gotten mad about it, but it's the fact that she was just yelling at me about it like not even 3 days ago. And so obviously I click on it and she snatches her phone from me, guys. She literally snatches her phone out of my hand. Obviously I'm like, absolutely not, you're playing with the wrong bitch right now, give me your phone like right now. So I take the phone back and I like go to click on her chat and whatever, and I see like the picture that she saved. I'm like, okay, like y'all don't have any saved chats, like y'all haven't talked other than pictures of you being saved when you were just yelling at me the other night about my pictures being saved by a guy. I don't know if what I just said made any sense, but yeah. So I end up opening the picture and it was like the girl just saying you're so fine or something to her, which is like fine, like I don't care if you think my girlfriend's pretty, but it's just the fact that all her stuff was saved in chat. She didn't add her but got mad at me whenever a guy was saving my stuff, you know? So anyways, as any girlfriend would, I tell her, I'm like, send her a picture of us. Like, tell her, like, you have a girlfriend. And she's like, no, just let me add her. Just let me add her. No, I'm not going to do that. Obviously, me being me, I'm like, no, just absolutely not. You're going to send this to her or we're breaking up, basically. And she was like, no, like, so adamant about not sending her a picture and telling her that she had a girlfriend, which I'm like, okay, so you're cheating on me because obviously. So I convinced her to finally send it, and then right after she sends it, she's like, okay, I'm gonna add her now. And I was like, no, we're gonna wait for her response, because now that you reacted like that, we're waiting for her response, because if she says something, like, I'm gonna be like, you know, like, depending on what she says, I can tell if she's cheating on me or not, you know? At this point, I'm like so pissed off because obviously, like, I know you're cheating on me. Like, I don't even need any evidence, I just know. Then I go to the bathroom because, like, I'm just mad and I just need to calm down. So I go to the bathroom and I end up finding this girl on Instagram, on Snapchat, on everything, and DMing her like, hey, have you been talking to my girlfriend? Like, what's going on? Like, have y'all been flirting? She tells me everything. Basically, just how my girlfriend had been texting her, talking about, I'm gonna fly to come see you. Like, I'm gonna see you. Like, you're so fine. Like, basically just flirting over a text, but, like, still, like, that's cheating. I don't care if it wasn't physical, it's cheating. So I screenshot all the stuff that she texted me on Snapchat and all the stuff that she texted me on Instagram. I screenshot all of it. And I go back into my room normal, and I'm like, okay, so is she gonna respond or not? Like, we gotta wait for her to respond. Acting like I don't know that she already cheated on me. She ends up responding and saying something, I think that's like along the lines of what the fuck, or like, I don't remember, but it was definitely something that I saw and I was like, you're cheating, because she wouldn't have said that if y'all hadn't been talking and stuff. She basically acts like it's no big deal and is like, okay, we can go back to normal now. Like, you saw what she said. Like, it's fine. I'm gonna add her. And I was like, absolutely not, because why would she say that? She's like, Ariana, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not cheating on you. Like, she just said that. Like, I don't know why she said that. Like, acting stupid, and I know what's going on. Like, I just know. I end up showing her all the screenshots that this girl sent me and, like, whatever. And she basically denies it all. She's like, that never happened. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Just get out of my house. Like, I don't want you here. Get out. She's basically just begging me, like, please, like, it's fine, and it's not fine. So, that's kind of the end of it, but we didn't break up. I got back with her after that. So, if you want the story time of how we actually broke up, let me know and I'll give that to you guys.
Get ready with me for work while I tell one of the most odd stories I've ever had. Yesterday, I was working. I'm not gonna say where. Let me tell you, it was so slow. There was maybe 2 tables in there. I am bored out of my mind, and I have been going live on TikTok recently. I was live yesterday for probably 2 hours. I had my name tag on, which was my mistake. And you guys, people started finding where I worked, my job. Anyway, moving forward, people started calling my work. I'm like answering the phone like, oh, hi, this is blah, 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 how can I help you? No, they're calling because they're watching my live. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I really messed up. I have given them way too much information. And that's not even where the story gets the most crazy. I actually ended up getting off of live when people started calling. Probably like an hour later, guys. A Domino's delivery guy comes into my work. My work is on private property. Like, this is not a joke. I'm at the stand where people come in, right? This person's like, hey, I have an order. It's a pizza and this 2-liter of pop. And it's a high-end restaurant. So I'm like, who is bringing food into this restaurant? This man literally proceeds to look at me and says, I have an order for Emily. I'm thinking to myself, oh, who? Oh, that's me. What? And he's like, you look confused. I'm like, maybe because I didn't order a pizza. the delivery guy's just like, okay, well, I can just cancel the order. And I'm thinking to myself, do I take this? Did someone pay for this? I'm so sorry that you had to bring this all the way up here for nobody to take it. And I pray that somebody paid for it because I feel horrible unless he like gets to eat that now. He was like, okay, I'll cancel it, and walked out. I am shocked that this happened. I'm looking around at my work to see if anybody saw that, and literally nobody did but one of my coworkers. So my coworker comes up to me, right, and he was like, what the heck just happened? And I'm like, I don't even know what's real life right now. This is not real. I told him what happened, and you know what the first thing he said was? Why didn't you get the pizza? And I'm like, bro, you've got to be kidding. Whoever found my location and ordered me that pizza, man, that is so odd. You have way too much free time to be doing this. Guys, I learned my lesson. The experience wasn't that bad. And someone just ordered me a pizza as a joke, which is funny, but when I'm at my work, I cannot get fired. But yeah, I thought I would just come on here and do a little story time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this story because I sure didn't when I was at work and got a pizza sent to me. I have to go back to work, so bye.
Hi guys, do my lashes with me while I give you guys a story time about how I got caught sneaking out my freshman year. These are the lashes I'm going to be using. I got them as a free sample off the TikTok shop, so thank you so much to Millie Best for the free sample. Hello, this is like a lifetime supply. It has remover for when you're ready to take them off and spoolies. It has bond and seal, and it has like a million clusters. It has 4 packs, and it has the little tweezer tool thing too. They're all different styles, I'm pretty sure, but we're gonna start with these ones. I can't believe how much stuff I got for free. That's insane. Also, if anyone's wondering what map this is gonna be, it's gonna be 18, 16, 16, 14, 12, 10. So do with that what you will. I'm also going to be using their bond and seal. It comes with 2 things of it, which I think is great because now I have one that I can keep in my purse in case my lashes ever start coming off when I'm out and about. Anyways, so I was 14 and I thought that it was super cool to try to sneak out my window, and I lived on the 2nd story. Like, my room was on the 2nd floor of my house, so it wasn't exactly the easiest room to try to sneak out of. And I thought like I could do it 100% because I had done it successfully before, so I could definitely do it again. But I guess I was like a lot more athletic the year prior. Okay, I'm sorry, I really was trying to make that work with their bond, but I really don't like the black bond or the consistency of that at all, so we're just gonna use the kind that I normally use. I'm sorry, I just like can't do that. But anyways, yeah, the year before I had successfully done this. I wanted to sneak out in the middle of the night and go get a slushie from the gas station because I was 13 and I thought that was like a super cool rebellious thing to do, even though it wasn't. And I ended up thinking that I sprained my ankle right when I jumped down from my roof, but I still proceeded to walk across the entire town that I lived in because that was how far I had to walk to find a gas station that was open in that hour. But yeah, fast forward to 1 year later, and I still have absolutely nothing to do if I sneak out. Like, I have no business doing this. I'm just doing it for the love of the game, apparently. And I am talking to this guy that I literally met off Snapchat. I don't know why I was talking to him. I didn't think he was cute. I didn't think he was funny. I don't know what I liked about him other than the fact that he would hang out with me at 2 in the morning if I snuck out. So yeah, I was wearing these shorts, mind you. These short-ass pajama shorts. And it was a night in January, okay? Like, I don't know what I was thinking. So the guy pulls up, and obviously he's a couple of years older than me because he can drive, and I'm literally 14. But yeah, it's some ridiculous hour of the night, and I'm literally, like, hanging off of my roof. My legs are dangling, and I trusted bro to, like, catch me. He did, but I still scraped the hell out of my legs on my roof, so was it even worth sneaking out for? No. What did we even do? We sat in his car for about 10 minutes. My friends were all on a group FaceTime call with me during this too, which I didn't even know. I told them to all hang up once I got in the car with the guy, but they did not listen to me. They wanted to hear whatever was going on, which probably wasn't great for them. I mean, I'm gonna at least use their seal, even though I didn't use their bond. But yeah, I get out of this guy's car. My friends are all still on the phone. I'm like, what the hell? But okay. I'm feeling on top of the world right now. I have no idea even why, but I think I'm the shit. I'm like, I just hung out with a guy in his car and snuck out. My parents don't know where I am. I'm 14 and I'm the shit. That's what I was thinking. Kind of stopped feeling like Tiffany Tough Knuckles though when it was time to climb back up the side of my house to get back up on my roof and go back into my room and sneak back into the house. And whatever core strength I must have had the year before was absolutely gone. I could not climb up the side of my house to get back onto my roof to save my life. So I'm on FaceTime with all my friends, and they're all saying like, girl, you need to just channel some kind of inner strength or something and lock in and climb up, because if you don't, you're gonna have to like ring the doorbell and get let in. And obviously that wasn't a great option either. So I was really out there trying to lock in and climb up the side of my house for a good 15 minutes. And I kept getting so close. Like I could literally see up onto my roof, into my room. Like it was so close I could basically taste it. But I just could not get my little scrawny ass up there. So eventually I give up. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to take the L and ring the doorbell and have my mom let me in. And I hate to say it, but that's exactly what I did. Like, I was like, all right, guys, I'll let you know if I get grounded or not. And then I like hung up the phone and rang the doorbell. My mom, who was asleep, comes to the door, obviously not happy with me. She's like, what the hell? How did you even get outside? I was trying to play the card that I went out through the front door and I accidentally locked myself out. And she was like, well, you can't exactly lock yourself out if you don't have keys. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Good point. I actually went out the window. Obviously, she's like, why the hell did you go out the window? I was like, I was feeling anxious. I wanted to go for a walk. And I guess for some reason she believed me. She was not thrilled about it, obviously, but I don't think I ever really ended up getting in trouble. After that, I never snuck out that window again. I was way too scared. And honestly, I probably really did need to be humbled like that at age 14. But yeah, it definitely could have gone a lot worse than it did. I was sweating it pretty bad, but yeah, it didn't end up being as big of a deal as I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, these are the lashes all done. Super cute. I like them. They're linked right there if you want to check them out also. And yeah, if you're a freshman, don't sneak out to hang out with random guys you don't know from Snapchat, because it's stupid. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Millie Best for the eyelash kit, and have a great rest of your day.
Ready with me while I tell you about why I left my student exchange 8 months early. I was meant to be there for 12 months and I lasted 4. And looking back now, this was almost 10 years ago now. Looking back now, it feels like a little bit of a horror story. At the time, I was just trying to get through it. But basically, the year before you go on exchange, you have to meet with your club every week. So I went with my Rotary club. You might have one like in your town, but they do 1 year student exchanges. So a year before you go on exchange, you have to get approved. You have to go through this big process where there's one day where you all go on this like trip and they watch how you like interact and whatever. And then there was like 12 countries that you could put your preference down in order of. And then depending on how you rank is where you will get sent based on your preferences. So that's the first day. And then you also have to do like a big formal interview process that takes a whole day. Whoopsie daisies. That can be for both sides. So it's a big process. So I went through all this process the year leading. I was 15 at the time of all this. And before I went on exchange, I had just turned 16. A lot of the other exchange students when I went were like 18. Australia, for some reason, we go quite young. So my first preference changed a few times, but it was France. Most of the time I really wanted to learn a language. And then this was in 2015, 2016. So there was kind of like some issues over there, and I actually got the option. So France was my first pick. I got my first pick. And then there was the option, because there was some shit going on over there. They were like, you can pick wherever you would like to go, and we will let you go there because, you know, it's a bit of a shit show. So I went overseas to France. For my first 2 weeks there, I had been doing French lessons before I went, but I knew zero French. And all the other Australian exchange students from my region didn't know their language either. That was not an issue. You didn't have to know the language. In hindsight, it would have been really helpful. So I got there, and I stayed with one of the Rotary families. One of the Rotary Club members, they call them like a counsellor. So I had an Australian counsellor and then like a French counsellor. And I stayed with her and her husband for the first month, I think it was. And that was all good. They were really nice. But again, I'd only just turned 16, and you're not meant to take any money over there or anything. And then the Rotary Club gives you an allowance based on, like, your parents kind of pay it, but then the Rotary divides it up as like I don't know if it's changed now, as like an allowance. And that's all you get. And that's kind of like, I don't know, for snacks or little purchases if you need some clothes or whatever. I don't know if I was meant to go grocery shopping or what, but I couldn't go to the store. I can't drive over there. I'm only 16, and we didn't go to the store. I didn't have any money to spend at the store anyway. But the only meal they ate for the day was dinner. I was not eating for a month. I was not eating 2 meals of the day. I was not eating breakfast. I was not eating lunch. So I was only eating tea, and I was about year 10 in school, so I was used to having breakfast, recess, lunch. I would eat something after school and then have tea. So I was eating 1 meal a day and I was dying. I remember I went over with a jar of Nutella as like, I don't even know why I would take that over, because you give away gifts from your country. I don't even think Nutella is Australian. But I ate my jar of Nutella in my room. I got a spoon from downstairs. I took it upstairs and I was just like eating my Nutella, and I was struggling. I didn't really see her husband much, and she was kind of away a lot too. And I was going to language school at this time to try and learn French. I was not very good at that. And then after that, I went to my first host family, which was a grandma and her granddaughter. I started going to school with the granddaughter. It was a massive school. So I come from a school where there were like, 60 kids in the entire school. And then I went to a school with like thousands and like a big cafeteria. I couldn't speak a word of French. They put me in school in France. There is like 3 different, it's really weird. There's like 3 different pathways you can choose. There was something called electric, there's English, and then there's like, maths or something. For some reason I was put in electric, which is not like electrician, it's like coding. Weird. I don't even know how to explain it, but I was in a class of like 25 or something, and there was only like 3 girls, and they did not want to be my friend. I ended up making friends with one boy in the class, but then he got expelled for selling the green thing. Then I had no friends again. So I would at lunchtime, I would go down the street and I would get Subway instead, and they would call my host family and I would get in trouble. But I was struggling. So I was with that family for a while. My host sister didn't really want to be friends with me at the start, which was fair enough because I think everyone thought I was weird. If exchange students come to Australia, everyone loves them. The families want to take them and show them around. It was very much not like that over there. If a student wants to go out as an outbound student to another country, they have to have someone come in. In Australia, it's just voluntarily. So the people that have the exchange students want to show them around. I don't think that my host family really wanted me there. And so she didn't really want to be, we kind of got along, but she was going on exchange to South Korea, I think. So we didn't have a lot to do with each other. She had lots of issues with her family. They lived in Paris. We did go and see them at one stage, which was weird because I was not allowed to have a hot shower because they were saving the hot water for like her brother and the dad. I think I was allowed to have it on warm, but it had to be very quick. And this was the time of the month where I would usually shower minimum twice a day, and I was allowed like one quick shower a day. It was very, very strange. So we were in Paris then, and I was like, sweet, like we're gonna go see some things now. No, we were not allowed to go see anything. I was like, I will pay for all of you. I have saved my allowance money. Let's go. They did not want to do that. I think we went on a boat, so I saw the Eiffel Tower from a distance, and I was like, guys. Anyway, then we went back, and eventually I switched from that family. I was meant to switch to another family, and by this stage I was fucking over it. I hated it so much. I got in trouble because I wasn't learning French quick enough. They said if I couldn't learn it, they're gonna send me home, and I was like, fucking do it at this point. I'm so sick of this. I don't know. I was very young and I was from a small town, so I was very used to people being very friendly, and it was not like that. It was very hard to make friends. I couldn't speak the language, but I don't know. I think if I had waited till I was a little bit older, it would have been a little bit better. But anyway, then I was meant to go to my next family, and I was like, I am tapping out. I cannot do this anymore. Also, the food at the next place that I went to, like at that host family, I really struggled with that as well. I know we had hamburgers once, but they were microwave hamburgers. Like it was in a box and you had to put it in the microwave, like with the lettuce and stuff in it. And I don't know, I was just really struggling. And then this is where it started to get like kind of creepy. I'm going to have to make it as a second part because I'm already up to 10 minutes, but I feel like the next part's much worse.
I love to walk around saying I hate drama. Like, baby, you are the drama.
This is part 2 of why I left my 12-month exchange 8 months early. So by 3 months, I had given up. I was trying to start the process to get the fuck out of there, which is a very hard process. They don't really like doing that. Also, again, had only just turned 16 at this time, and a lot of the other exchange students from other countries were like 18. So they were all a lot older. They were very into drinking and all of that sort of stuff, which was against the rules. You were not allowed to do that on exchange. But I was way too young for that. I was too young to be like hanging out with all of, I don't know, I was always very nervous and very worried. I didn't like being there for those kind of things. They all would sneak in alcohol to events and get pissed, and I didn't drink, so I just did not fit in with it at all. So I was ready. Get me out of here. Eventually they switched me to another host family from the Rotary Club. So this is the club that hosts exchange students. And my counsellor, I had stayed with her at the start, and for some reason she was going away, so I couldn't go back to her house before I left. They were ready to send me home, but for some reason I had to stay there separately. I had to stay there before I went, or I had to wait for flights. I can't remember why had to stay somewhere else. And I couldn't stay with that next family either, so I had to stay with this other family. And there was another exchange student that had stayed with this family before. So this was her counsellor. Her name was Beatrice. And it was her and her husband. Her husband was creepy as fuck. The wife didn't speak English. She was the one that said if I didn't learn French quick enough, they were going to send me home. She did not like that I could not speak French and she could not speak English. So I remember we went out, me, the other exchange student, she was lovely, and Beatrice and her husband. We went out for lunch or tea or whatever it was, can't remember, and he took money out of my purse while we were sitting there in front of his wife, but she just did not know what was going on. He took $1 out of my purse and he was like, you have to kiss me and I will give it back, like kiss on the cheek. And I was like, no. I guess the wife clicked onto what he was doing. She just thought it was a joke. I don't know. It was really weird. So I kissed him on the cheek and he gave me back my $1. Again, the wife can't understand what he's saying, only me and the exchange student, he could understand. And he said, imagine what I could do if I had the rest of your money. And I was like, what the fuck, dog? He would always just make really fucking rude comments, like dirty comments in front of his wife, but she couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. And I couldn't communicate to her, like, your husband's being a fucking creep. And then another time, so I was staying at their house by myself, just like with the husband and wife. I think they had kids. They might have had a son that lived there as well, but I can't really remember him. No, the son had a girlfriend, because I remember the girlfriend would come over and they would both like have hickeys all over their neck. No one would mention it, but they were never there much. And then me and the other exchange student, we were making like flower crowns sitting outside in their garden. The husband and wife were both there, and we were making like flower crowns. And the husband said, like, can you make me one? And we're like, we can make you one. And we made one. He's like, that's not what I mean. He's like, can you make one for my dick? We were like, we just looked like, well, I don't understand. What? And the wife just doesn't know what's going on. He's just like, actually, in hindsight, I don't know why the other exchange student didn't say it to her. Maybe she just didn't like care, because she could speak French. She was fluent in French. I don't remember if she told the wife or not, but the wife never did anything if she did know. And then the very last night that I stayed at their house before I got to go home, the fucking wife was away. She wasn't at the house, and I'm telling you, I was fucking scared. It was just me and him at the house. I did not sleep for a second of that night. I was that fucking terrified. I was awake the entire night. Like, the fear, I don't know, he just creeped me the fuck out. I don't know. And he was not touchy with me, but he was very touchy with the other exchange student. And I remember I said to her, I was like, this is weird as fuck. And she's like, I didn't really think anything of it, but like, now that you like say something, this is fucking weird. And I was like, this is not normal. Where she would have been 17 or 18 and I was freshly 16, and I knew that it was fucking weird. Probably because my mum made me watch Taken and like this movie called Trafficked before I went. But anyway, I was like, I'm getting murdered, or honestly fucking worse. And nothing happened, but I was awake the entire night, freaked out as anything though, but there was nothing that I could do about it. They are the Rotary Club, like who you go to if you've got problems. But what happens if they're the problem? I remember like I don't even think I told my host club that he was creepy. I didn't really like think about it until I was left there, and then I started thinking about everything in hindsight, and I was like, fuck. But anyway, eventually I went home. So I lasted 4 months. School, the teachers, they didn't give me any work or anything. I would just sit there. If you don't get it, just chill out. And I have never started to fall asleep in class until I was there, because I didn't understand a fucking word. There was nothing happening in my head. I was so tired, I couldn't sleep. Anyway, I lasted 4 months, and in hindsight, I feel like I did pretty good to last 4 months, because it was not enjoyable at all. It was a very stressful experience, and I think, honestly, I'd always been an anxious person before exchange, but I think being on exchange was when I really, truly first started experiencing serious anxiety. And I cannot tell you, I remember everyone like saying before I went home, like, you're going to regret not finishing the year. And I remember thinking in my head, there is nothing on earth that I will look back on and regret not staying here. Like the way that I felt at the time, I was so fucking ready to get out of there. And then when I landed in Australia, and the air, because I'd been over there in winter and it was just coming into our winter, but it was still warm when I landed. The air, I can't even tell you, smelled so good when I landed. I was so happy to be home. I just hated it. It was not for me. I was going to go to Brazil, and then I was going to go to Canada, and I ended up sticking with France. I don't know whether it would have been different anywhere else. I've always wondered, like, if I had gone to Canada, I was able to speak the language and communicate straight away, maybe it would have been different. But honestly, I think I was too young to go on exchange. I think like that 18-year-old sort of age mark would have been a lot better than 16, but again, it was still like a fucking mess anyway. But I don't think that's common, like most people stayed there. Actually, there was another girl from Australia that also left just after me, but we were from the same group of towns, but not the same town, if that makes sense. She also left because she fucking hated it as well. But there was another girl from Australia that was with a different family. She was in the Alps. I was in Bordeaux sort of region. I wasn't in Bordeaux. I was in a much smaller town, but I was in that sort of region. The other Australian girl that I went with from Australia, she went to the Alps and she really liked it. So, I don't know. I guess it just kind of depends, but it was not for me.
I'm gonna ask you one simple question, okay? If Gypsy Rose Blanchard can't even stay with the fire D, then why are you staying with the mediocre D, huh?
Get ready with me while I'll tell you my Valentine's Day horror story. This took place 2 years ago. For some context, the guy was a friend of my ex, and I had this really bad problem with just my ex's friends in general. But like maybe a week before, I had gone on like a 2-man with him. It was him and his friend and me and my friend. But like it was so low-key. We just watched like a movie and hung out in my friend's basement. Leading up to Valentine's Day, we had been like texting and talking and like calling every single day. And so on one of the days leading up to Valentine's Day, he actually asked me to be his Valentine. And I've actually never had like a good Valentine's Day. The only other time I'd had a Valentine was in 7th grade, and we literally didn't talk the whole day, as 7th graders do. So I was just like overly excited because this guy seemed like so sweet. I really thought like, this is gonna be a good year. And my little dumbass did not expect anything to be plotted on me. Lord, was I wrong. And even day of, like everything seemed to be going well. Like I sent him a fit check in the morning. He was like, you're so cute, whatever. I was texting him through school. He was just supposed to come over after school. And I'm pretty sure he asked me like the day before, so I wasn't expecting him to get me any flowers or anything. I was just expecting to see him, have a chill day, like, you know, little Valentine's Day hangout. And eventually he does come over. It took like a while because he had to like take a bus from his house and then walk, and my house was like 30 minutes walking from the closest bus stop. And like the whole time he was on the way here, I couldn't text him because he didn't have cell service at the time, so like nothing was going through. Eventually he gets to my house, and like honestly things are good. Like I'm smitten. He is just everything I really wanted for this Valentine's Day. We were kissing, you know, just the regular things that you do when you're hanging out with someone you like. My little sister came in, she met him too. Like he was really sweet, and so I just had a good feeling. So as I paint my nose like the clown I fucking was, I'll tell you where I went wrong. Where everything went wrong. Of course, I'm just overjoyed that I actually have a Valentine this year. So I'm like seeing everyone posting their Valentine, posting their mans, their girls, you know, whatever. So I'm like, I want that so bad. So what do? Like any normal person, I take a picture of the back of his head and my face while I'm hugging him. Before I posted it, I did have the decency to ask him, and he said it was okay. I assumed that he had told his friends about us already, but like stupid me for making that assumption. Immediately people are swiping up on my story like so fucking confused on who it was, and there were some people who guessed who it was. But at this point I'm already hearing his phone blowing up, and I'm assuming it's his group chat like flaming him because he's with his friend's ex. At this point he's been at my house for like 2 hours, maybe 3, and I was expecting to see him for longer than that. But then he gets a call and he goes into my corner to take the call while I'm sitting on my bed back there. I could hear on the phone it was a man's voice, and he did lie to me after and say it was his mother, but he talked very, you know, whisperedly and briefly, and then all of a sudden he was like, I need to go. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Obviously my heart is hurting, but I'm not gonna show my weakness to a stupid fucking boy. But before he left, he told me to take down the post, which is how I knew things were fucking done. Bully. I didn't hear from him for like almost an hour after he left, which makes sense because he didn't have service. But I was on the phone with his brother after he left, because his brother and I were kind of friends. Like his brother was really rooting for us, but obviously didn't work out like that. I totally forgot to mention this, but at some point while he was at my house, I think before the post, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fast. Are you sure? He was like, yeah, no, I'm really sure. I want you to be my girlfriend. I'm like, okay. So I thought I was on the phone with my boyfriend's brother talking about what had happened, because I was like, I don't know why he left so suddenly, but I don't have a good feeling about it. His brother was like, just chill out. Like, it's probably nothing, whatever. And I really wanted to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, so I assumed like, oh, his friends are probably just clowning him, like whatever, like makes sense, I can't expect that much. But once he gets home, I essentially get a text that's like, some stupid bullshit. It was like, I was only using you for a Valentine, like whatever. And I'm like, okay, like that literally makes no sense. Why would you ask me to be your girlfriend if you were using me as a Valentine? I was like, this has to be like some sick fucking joke, but it definitely wasn't. And I later found out that the text he had sent me was written by my ex. He had just asked my ex like what he could say to like get me off of the hook and like I'm, you know, out of his life, I guess. And, like, I can't even sit here and say that he, like, publicly embarrassed me, because I did that shit to myself. And so not only did he ruin my Valentine's Day and have me crying in my mother's lap about just men in general, my ex and his friends. I'm stupid. Why'd I go for my ex's friends? Don't ask me. He then went on to tell people that I gave him a blowjob, and I had never once, and to this day, have never seen his penis. This was also at a point in my life where I wasn't even allowed to have boys over with the door closed, so there was just no way for that to have happened. But when I tell you, so many people believed him for months and months. No one ever bought my story. No one ever listened to me the whole time I was pleading my case that I never saw that man's wiener, and no one believed me. Which, looking back, why would they? Because I'm the girl who was getting with my ex's friends. We actually came back after a little bit, and we ran it back briefly where I hung out with him like one more time, and then I had like found out some fuck shit he was saying about me, so I was like, this is over, and he was like, that's cool, I don't really give a fuck. But Lord, was I hurt. That man had me crying in my mother's lap on Valentine's Day. And about a month later, I really started to like turn things around for myself, so by that fall, I had skipped 2 grades. So at this point, I was in my senior year and I was doing cheer, so I didn't get to go to like any football games except for the ones that I was cheering at, except our bye week. So during our bye week, I was like, I want to go to a game. And my friends I would usually go to a game with went to the club for one of their friends' birthdays. So, you know, obviously me being like 16, I couldn't go. I don't even think I was 16 at the time. But me and my ex had gotten on good terms since then, so as friends, we went to the game together. And because we didn't really want to get, like, the weird looks and shit, we just came together and then, like, split up as soon as we got to the game. And I had really moved on from, like, all of the drama earlier the year and, you know, the year before, so I wasn't expecting for anything to go wrong at the game. I was just going so I could, like, see my friends and have a good time, because, you know, I didn't want to miss out on going to a high school football game in my senior year. For a good portion of the game, I was just hanging out with my friends and having a good time. And this was actually the guy's home school, so I kind of expected I would see him and his goons, but it didn't bother me. You know, I noticed like a little glance here and there from them, but nothing that like actually meant anything. Until like the end of the 3rd quarter, I want to say, when his friend, the friend who actually came on the 2-man with me and my friend earlier in the year, he came up to me and was like, hey, I need to talk to you. So he pulled me aside from my group and basically just told me that this guy, my ex-Valentine / ex-boyfriend of 2 hours, had called me a dirty whore. So knee-jerk reaction, I slapped the kid. I shouldn't have slapped him. I should have slapped the guy, but I unfortunately did end up shooting the messenger. But yeah, then like a yelling match ensued between me and the guy. Not the one I slapped, and the one I slapped actually. So much chaos ensued after that. His like older sister was coming up to me and like threatening to beat my ass. I was like, bro, if you want to beat my ass at a high school football game at your high school, be my guest. So I didn't end up apologizing because I had no reason to. And after the game was like almost over, my ex informed me that the people who had driven us there didn't want to drive me back. So I called one of my other friends and he had his mom pick me up. In any case, that is my Valentine's Day horror story that haunted me for a lot longer than just the day of love. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and if you made it to the end, I love you so very much, and you should follow because I think I'm pretty fucking cool. I love you.